sweethearts from Los Angeles can go into Arrowhead and win.
Yo, whoa, that was crazy. Whoa. That's clipped. You just got your clipped now.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Right Bench Podcast. I'm Charlie.
And I'm James.
Season 3, episode 14. Is that right? Yes, it is right. I still have it wrong up here. But anyway, lots of good stuff coming right in the next couple months. This week starts the journey throughout the rest of the season, into the college football playoffs, through the NFL playoffs, through the Super Bowls, and we'll be covering you for Season 3. Look out for a live stream in a couple of weeks. We don't know what it is yet, but we're going to, tomorrow.
Yeah,
in 2 days.
We're going to figure it out soon.
So on Sunday, be looking for that stuff. And, so let's get started building another college football playoff, this time after the regular season ended. And we'll go back and see, what we think about the last ones we did back in week 3, or episode 3, so it's week 3. Yeah.
Okay, so I do want to say, we did this in, episode 3 of season 3. We did our original thing, and this was 2 games into the season, pretty much. So this is kind of what we thought at the beginning, and then now we're going to share what we think now.
Yeah, James will share.
It's definitely a lot different on my end. It's a little different.
It's a little different,
but a lot different on mine.
James is something. All right, you can start with your first 8 or your bottom 8.
Okay, so you want me to start 12? You want me to say 12-5?
Yeah, 12-5, 6-11, and then build out your matchups.
Okay, cool. Okay, so at number 12, I have the ACC winner. I put Clemson here at 12, and then at the 5, I put Texas. Because I think Texas is going to lose in the SEC championship. I don't think they fall too much. I think they go down to 5. So I have Clemson versus Texas. And a lot of people are going to be interested, especially in this SMU Clemson game. I am. I think Clemson is the better team right now. I know SMU is rolling, but I think Clemson, they've come a very long way since that Georgia game, where they looked like they might not even be in the top 25. Now they have a chance at the playoffs. I think they're going to be here at the 12, and then I have Texas at the 5. At the 11...
we'll pass it on real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, SMU is another team you just don't know.
True.
We just don't know how good they are. They could be so good. They could be not good at all.
Which is similar to Indiana, in my opinion.
Indiana, we saw them against Ohio State, but it's similar to Boise. And maybe Indiana a little bit. So, and maybe Penn State. So, we'll see how that plays out. But, yeah, Clemson got outrageously lucky with the Miami loss.
True.
They were cooked.
Yeah, that's a good point. But... You want me to keep going to my 11-6?
Yeah, keep going.
Okay, so at my 11-6, it's kind of weird here. So the committee has said, we talked about this earlier, that SMU will not fall much if they lose. They'll fall a little bit, but they'll stay inside the playoff. So I actually have them jumping Clemson here because I think they put Clemson at the 12. I think they want a better game between Clemson and Texas. I think they put SMU at the 11 still, even though they lost. I'm going to go SMU. I have a lot of chaos, so it's going to be kind of weird. But I have SMU at the 11, and then I'm going to go Notre Dame at the 6. Notre Dame doesn't play a conference title game. So they won't play an extra game like these other teams. So I think 6-11 SMU. I think it'll be close, but I don't really know what else to say about it.
Yeah, I mean, SMU is so much higher than Clemson right now. It's tough to see them jumping, even if they win. And then now having Notre Dame at the 5 is interesting. We'll see. Or who'd you have at the 5? Texas?
Texas at the 5.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Never mind.
Notre Dame falling 1. But I think the biggest thing in the SMU Clemson game or whatever is Clemson's not playing to jump SMU. Clemson's playing to get in, right? Because they have to win this game to get in. If they don't, they're out. So I think that's the main storyline. It's not that Clemson's trying to be a higher rank in the SMU. They don't really care. They just want to get in. So
I don't see Georgia beating Texas twice. That's just me, though.
Yeah, we'll have to see it. We'll see in your bracket. But at the 10, I'm going to go with Penn State versus Tennessee at the 7. I think these are 2 teams who, in my opinion, are a little overrated, but they've had a good season. I wouldn't watch this game, if I'm being honest. If it was in the playoffs, I think it would be a good game, but I probably wouldn't watch it. I want to see Penn State get a home game, but in this one, it didn't end up happening. So it would be a home game at Tennessee versus Penn State. Not really much to say there. Penn State's gonna, in my opinion, is gonna lose. Is gonna lose the Big Ten championship game, and they're gonna drop the 10.
Interesting. I don't agree with what you did there. All right, you can go ahead.
Okay, so at my 8-9, this is a rematch. Ohio State drops down to the 8, and Indiana drops down, I believe. Oh, no, they stay at 9, which in my opinion is exactly what's going to happen. They're at 10.
They're at 10 right now.
So in my opinion, that's exactly what's going to happen. I think Indiana's going to stay right here. And they're not going to move much. I think the main point is they're not going to play in the conference title game. They wanted to avoid that at all costs, get their one loss, and they're in. So I have them rematching Ohio State.
I don't see Penn State falling below definitely not falling with Indiana, and probably not Ohio State even because it's a conference championship. So like,
No, they'll drop. I think they'll drop behind Ohio State if they lose.
I don't
Now Indiana's a
I don't have
question
that.
mark.
No, they definitely will drop behind. You're wrong with that, but
Okay.
we'll see. You can go. You can keep going.
That's it.
That's all.
That's all my matchups.
Oh wow! All right. Well, I'll get you started with my bottom 8. You didn't say who you had before.
I didn't say who I had before. Sorry, I forgot. So, in the new game, my 12 versus 5 was Clemson, Texas. Before, I had Georgia at the 5, which could still obviously happen, facing the Northern Illinois Huskies. This was coming off of the Notre Dame win. I thought they were going to win out. I thought they were going to go 12-0. I don't know if they made a bowl game. I'm going to be totally honest with you. But
I think they did.
They might have gone 6-6. That would be my guess of what they did.
My guess is 7-5.
Well, I don't know. They lost a good amount of games.
I haven't paid attention to the season at all.
They were
football.
It's kind of rough. Like that could have carried their team. 7-5.
7-5. Yeah.
So 7-5. They will not get in the playoffs anymore. So that's who I had in my 12. And then my new 11-6 is SMU Notre Dame. My old is two SEC teams that will not get in. I have Missouri at the 11, which they dropped. Ole Miss at the 6, which
Ole Miss isn't crazy.
It's not too crazy. I thought they were going to be so much better this year, which they were very good. I mean, they lost games very close.
They had the talent.
Yeah, exactly. So at my new 10-7, I said Penn State, Tennessee. And my old one, at 10, I had USC. And then at 7, I had Bama. Two teams who most likely not get in my new bracket. Bama might, but in my new bracket, they are not. And then my new 8-9 is Ohio State, Indiana. And then my old one, I thought it was going to be a really fun game. 2 freshman quarterbacks. Kansas State versus Nebraska. 2 teams who are not good at all.
Well, Kansas State's good.
Yeah, sure, but they're not top 12, obviously.
No,
so in my bottom 8, there's only one team in my new one that's still in.
Yeah,
the others.
You'll see more from teams later on this.
So yeah, it's even worse.
But what I think is interesting is you didn't factor in that the committee might avoid a rematch in Ohio State, Indiana.
I don't think they will. I don't think they'll care.
I put my out and I had to change it a little to avoid the Ohio State, Indiana rematch.
I don't think they'll care because I think they want to see a game like SMU Notre Dame. I think they want to see a game Clemson, Texas, 2 big programs.
Yeah, I love the ones I made. But I just thought it was going to be. I just thought they'd avoid it.
It's just kind of how it worked out. So.
It's a new era. We'll see if they do or not. But in a couple of years, we'll definitely know if they care or not.
Yeah, I don't think they'll care as much. But
I feel like that's something that they kept an eye on in the 14 playoff.
Yeah, well, I mean, that never really happened.
Two teams in the same conference never played each other.
True, but that's not going to happen in the 12-team playoff. They're going to a bunch of conferences.
They're going to play each other. So it'll be interesting to see if they take into account a rematch or not.
Yeah.
So my 12 seed, Iowa State. But you didn't. Oh yeah, never mind. Sorry, I'm done. Iowa State is my number 12 seed. I think this Big 12 championship should be a banger. Sorry, I put Memphis at the 12 before, so now I have Iowa State. Memphis was good, by the way.
Memphis was good, and they got upset over Tulane. Yeah.
Yeah, so this Big 12 championship should be a banger. But I think Iowa State's defense holds strong in this game. I think they're the best Big 12 team. I think they have been all year. But don't be surprised also if UNLV takes this spot. Mm-hmm. All they have to do is beat Boise State in the 12 seed.
Maybe, yeah.
But if the 12 seed is in fact a Big 12 champion, the 12-5 game and the 12 seed will be much, much stronger than we thought they'd be.
Yeah,
ever.
For sure. Which I like.
So I have them playing my 5 seed, who was Texas before. Not a terrible take, could happen. My 5 now is Notre Dame. Okay. They've handled business since the early loss. You can only play who's in front of you. They played a few good teams in Army and Navy. They just pretty much dominated.
And A&M.
Yeah, they played A&M as well.
That's their biggest win. That's kind of what's holding them
up. And so they've proven. I think they've proven that they're a good team. I think they have a great quarterback in Riley Leonard. And I think they can go somewhere in this playoff, especially if they play Iowa State here or Arizona State. A no conference championship for Notre Dame does help them out a lot, not being able to slip. And this would make for a great 5-12 game, Notre Dame Iowa State. I would love to see this. It's something I've never said.
Yeah, I think it'd be a battle of defense for sure. I'd love to watch it because I think we're not going to get a lot of it in the new 12-team playoff. It's going to be very offensive heavy. And Iowa State has proved to be one of the best defenses in the Big 12. Notre Dame is one of the best defenses in the country. I think that'd be a really fun game. Actually, yeah. I would actually watch that game.
Yeah.
You know, Iowa State's not winning.
Yes.
But.
I mean, this might be the only year in a while that you get a strong 5-12 game.
Yeah.
Don't take it for granted, guys.
For sure.
Don't take it for granted.
And it's only the first year.
Yeah, my number 8 seed, I had Alabama before, and now I have Ohio State. I wanted to put Ohio State higher, but I had to avoid the rematch versus Indiana, like I just said. They had to have a much tougher road. They have a much tougher road after the loss to Michigan, they would be number 5, pretty much, if they hadn't lost to Michigan, or number 1 if they won their conference. But they have lots of talent on their team, right? Front to back, but they also have lots of pressure. They haven't won all the games they should have won this year. They've been kind of more vulnerable than we thought they would be. And I think Ryan Day needs 2 or more wins in this game in this playoff to save his job after the loss to Michigan. So something to keep an eye on there. Number 9.
Who did you have before in the 8?
Bama. I said that.
Oh, you said that. Sorry,
Yeah.
my bad. I thought you said Ohio State, Bama in the game.
No. My 9 seed, I have USC. I had USC, sorry. Don't have them now.
Yeah.
I have Tennessee now. Tennessee's a team that's just done their job. They had done nothing special. I don't really think they're very good. But they played the teams in front of them. They beat Bama, which is huge for them. And they're just taking care of business other than that one, was it Arkansas? Yeah, they lost to Arkansas, but they beat Bama. So they just canceled out kind of. Other than that, they've taken care of business where they needed to. They've cruised to a 10-2 season. And they're in a perfect position now with no conference championship to worry about. They're locked into the playoff.
Yeah, I think I want to go back to the Ohio State point and Ryan Day. This is unlike any other coaching job. When a team goes, they're 10-2 now. When a team goes 10-2, and then last year they went 11-1. The year before they were really good. Usually the job is not on the hot seat. Ryan Day's job would not be on the hot seat pretty much anywhere else. But you've lost to Michigan 4 straight years. Your seniors at Ohio State have never gotten to beat Michigan. The biggest rivalry in college football, you have not been able to win it in these last 4 years. That's a big deal. That's a big deal to Ohio State fans, big deal to Ohio State alumni who pay for your job. So I do agree with you. I think if he doesn't get a couple wins in the playoff, his job is very hot. I don't think they'll fire him because he's such a good coach.
Is he that? All the talent that he brings in, and he still can't beat Michigan, still can't make the playoffs. That's holding him out of the playoffs.
Well, that's a rivalry, but yeah, I get it.
Yeah, he's getting held out of the playoffs almost every year now because he can't beat Michigan.
Yeah,
and a national championship is what's expected at Ohio State. And so now you look at it, he hasn't really made the playoffs often.
He was there 2 years ago.
He was there a couple years ago, but he still lost to Michigan that year. And he can't beat Michigan, can rarely make the playoffs. And so if he doesn't get to the semis here, I think he might be gone. But it depends. I don't really know. So, you want me going?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, my 7th seed. I had Oregon here last time. Obviously don't now. I have Georgia in my 7. I think they lose the SEC championship, but stay at 7 because of the avoiding of rematches. Like I said, I would have flipped them in Ohio State if I could have. They've been a team that's been very inconsistent. That's starting with Carson Beck, all the way through their team, all the interceptions, all the just bad play, half the games really. Right, the Georgia Tech game, the game. What game did they lose that they shouldn't have?
Which one?
They lost a game that they shouldn't have lost. What was
Georgia, Bama?
No, the other one. They have 2 losses, don't they?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think they do. Georgia, yeah, they do.
Not Georgia.
Was it Kentucky?
No, it was 6-9 versus Kentucky. I remember that game. I don't remember they lost.
They lost to Ole Miss. Yes.
It was they killed them. I remember that game.
Yeah, so that was a really embarrassing game for Georgia, and so they need Carson Beck to show up really big in this playoff in order for them to make a run. I think they sit in a solid spot hosting a first round game, but they won't even get past that maybe if Carson Beck doesn't show up. But their team obviously make a huge run if they do get their quarterback and their whole team to rally around them. My 10 seed, though, is Indiana. I had Missouri here before. That obviously did not pan out. I think they're seeded low because of their low strength of schedule, right? They already are with 1 loss at the number 9 in the country.
Yeah.
They're very lucky, though, not to have a conference championship because that could absolutely knock them out. So they're very lucky to avoid that. I think Kurt Signetti and company have done a great job in their first year. They won't really go anywhere in the college football playoff. They'll get steamrolled by Georgia if this happens. But a very promising first season in a new era for Indiana. Anything on that?
Yeah, no, I totally agree. So I think I think Georgia could lose to Indiana. It won't happen.
Mm-mm.
But I think it's possible because, in my opinion, it all relies on
Notre
Carson
Dame will
Beck.
say NIU. So.
Exactly. So the entire team rests on Carson Beck, in my opinion. If from here on out, when they win, he plays amazing. When they lose, he is really bad. So if he can play really well, especially going into the SEC chip, whether they lose or whether they win, he has to play well in that game, right? That has to build momentum, whether you're going to be a top 4 seed in the playoffs or whether you're going to host a first-round game. Because you're going to host or you're going to get a bye. But he needs to play well. He needs to start building momentum. And he has. They'll be a top.
If they can drop to 9, if they get blown out, they could drop to 9. Possibly. I maybe not, but I can see it. They're at 5 right now. Never mind. They're at 5.
Yeah, I mean,
it's possible, but I don't really see it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But I think a team right now is only as good as its quarterback. And that's what Georgia, they're in a bad situation right now because it shouldn't just rely on him, but it does. So I do think Georgia can still go win a national title, but it's going to all rely on him. in my opinion.
Yeah, they would. I think if they do end up having to have a first round game, I think they need to pray for Indiana because that could be a really good warm up game for them. Indiana obviously not that good, so that could be a really good warm up game for Carson Beck and company. So I think that's what they need to pray for because against anyone else, they have real shots to lose.
Yeah.
All right, my number 6 seed. I had Ole Miss here last time. Now I have Penn State. I think they're going to take a close loss to Oregon. I think they'll knock them down to 6 below Notre Dame because Notre Dame won't play. I think they're a very good team. I think they can make a run only if they play their best. This is a team that will be hosting the first round most likely, unless they get blown out. I think playing at Happy Valley in the first round is a huge advantage if they can pull it out, which again they should be able to do. It's all about who they play, and it's all about how well they play. It's all about the temperature in Happy Valley too.
Sure.
Right. But I think this is a team that could go somewhere, but they got to play their best because they're really not the most talented, but they have been good all year. Played close with Ohio State, and we'll see again how good they are this week with Oregon coming up. In my 11, I had Penn State here last time. Now I have Alabama. It's controversial sneak in over Miami. I'm not saying if I disagree or agree, but it's very controversial. I mean, the country is divided at this point. And Alabama has been totally inconsistent. They had the steamrolling they had against LSU, the win against Georgia, then also the losses against, I forget who they lost to, but to plenty of teams. They can absolutely make a run if they get a good Jalen Milroe. A guy, Jalen Milroe, who sits in the pocket and can throw the ball as well as the threat of his legs. They can absolutely make a big run because they're one of the best teams in the nation just because they're an SEC team. And this would be a banger if it happens. Penn State, Alabama, in Happy Valley. Oh, I hope it happens, man.
Yeah, I was actually talking about this with a friend this week. What if an SEC team has to go up to Happy Valley and win a game? Like, say it's a Georgia or a Bama. I don't think it can happen. I'm going to be honest. I don't think a team can go up to Penn State and win, especially now, in December? I don't think they can win. Like, this game, it is probably, in my opinion, the best stadium pulse in the country, in my opinion. I think Penn State, they want to host a first-round game.
They will.
They want to. And most likely they will. They don't in my scenario, but they could. So I don't think a Bama team can go up to Penn State and win. I'll continue to say that. Even though the SEC is better than the Big Ten, that's the hardest place to play in the country.
Yeah, I think it'd be maybe a coin flip between Bama and them. Tennessee, I don't think can do it, but I think Georgia could.
Yeah,
but I think
was going to say that was another SEC.
Alabama would be a coin flip for me, I think. But yeah. All right, you want to get in your top 4?
I can. Do you want me to start from 1 or go from 4 up?
Go from 4 up.
Okay, so going down to 4. I was trying to figure out how I wanted to do this, and I have the Big 12 champ end up going at the 4. I have Arizona State beating Iowa State. You have Iowa State. I think Arizona State's a better team. They're rolling right now. They just steamrolled Arizona. Like, in Tucson, a rivalry game, it was nowhere close. I think Kenny Dillingham is a great coach. He's brought a brand new vibe to this Arizona State team. They play with aggressiveness, they play with passion, and they play very, very fast. I think Arizona State is a threat to a team if you see them at that 4. So I do think they sneak in at the 4. I think they win the Big 12 championship game. At my 3, I ended up going with Boise State. It's just kind of how it worked out. They are going to beat UNLV, in my opinion. I don't think it's going to be close. I think you think it's going to be a little closer.
Well, I mean, I don't know anything about UNLV, but I'm saying this is your 2 group of 5 teams. Like, it could happen.
Mm-hmm, for sure. I just think Boise's the better team. I think they'll beat UNLV pretty easily. I think they'll sneak in at the 3 just because of all the other stuff I have playing out in my bracket. Obviously, Ashton Jeanty's a Heisman contender. I think it would be really fun to see him in the playoffs. So look out for that.
Yeah. I'll talk.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I think would you have basically all hell breaking loose? I mean, it'd be fun. At this point, Boise State pretty much 3 is the highest they can get.
Yeah.
And Big 12 champion does need Clemson to win for them to get into that 12 seed. But if it happens, then or you get into that 4 seed.
Mm-hmm.
But if Clemson wins, then yeah, the Big 12 champion will be the 4 seed. That can be huge for one of them. So. Yeah, I mean, I just thought... this is what chaos will have to happen for this.
Exactly, which I want chaos. That's one of my favorite things in college football. We've seen a lot of it this year with a lot of upsets. I think we're averaging... I saw a stat. We're averaging, 2.5, ranked teams losing every single week, which is insane. But, never mind.
I would actually rather see a Big 12 champion in the 12 seed. I guess if Clemson's there, too, it's the same. But, that's put a stronger team in that 12 seed just to see if they can, have a good game with the 5 seed.
I'd rather see Clemson Texas than an Arizona State Texas, obviously.
I don't think I will.
Really? You'd rather? Well, I think Texas.
I think they're similar in skill or how good they are. But
really, Arizona State and Clemson, you think they're similar?
Yeah, I think they're similar. I think they played a big close game.
No, I think with Iowa State. Yeah, I totally agree. I think Arizona State's that's what I'm pulling for now in the 12 team with, obviously LSU not having a chance. I am pulling for Arizona State, but I just don't think they're better than Clemson. But I think Clemson Texas.
I don't think Clemson's that good.
Really?
No, I don't think South Carolina's that good either. I don't think South Carolina's that good either.
Okay,
I think
that is crazy.
I mean, I think they're playing good right now, but I think that was battle of mediocrity in the last week. Either of them.
Okay. All right.
I just don't.
At my 2, the SEC champ. I've been beating Texas twice. It's the Georgia Bulldogs. I think we all expected them to be a top 4 seed at the beginning of the year. I did, at least. And I think that, or at least, be in the playoffs, obviously a top 5 seed. I think Georgia is scary, man. If they can get Carson Beck going, I just talked about it a little bit. They are scary. They have enough talent to go win a national title. So I think them at that 2 seed, getting the bye, giving a chance to rest after the SEC chip, I think that'd be a really big deal. And then my number 1, they're going to go undefeated. They're going to go 13-0. It's the Oregon Ducks. They've been the best team all year. They've been the 1 seed since, week 6?
Something like that.
And they've continued to be the 1 seed. They have not fallen. They had a couple close games here and there, so I'm not sure how it's going to pan out in the playoffs, but Oregon's the best team in the nation right now. They're my number 1.
Yeah, they might have been week 7.
Week 7, maybe?
Because it was when the same week LSU beat Ole Miss.
Yeah.
So I think it might have been week 7. This is their 6th game. I don't know. All right. I'll get us going here. I had... Oh, you didn't say you had before. Oh, yeah. Let's go, James. Who do you have at your 4 seed?
I didn't really want to talk about it.
No, you're going to.
Try to get out of that. At my 4 seed, I said Arizona State.
No, you,
I said Arizona State this time. I still thought it was going to be a Big 12 champion. They're now the worst team in the Big 12. I put Oklahoma State here. I thought they were going to use Ollie Gordon, and I thought Sam Bowman, the 7th-year senior, was going to play a lot better. And I thought Ollie Gordon was going to be used in a better way. He was not at all. He had a horrible season. He was not given enough carries. I hope he transfers. He does not deserve to be at Oklahoma State anymore. So, yeah, I had that. I had Miami at my 3, which after the strong, 3 weeks they showed, or 2 weeks they showed, I thought they were going to be pretty much a lock for a top 4 seed. Yeah. They ended up dropping 2 games at the end of the season. They're not going to be in. And then I had Texas at my 1, and then I had Ohio State at my 2, which, I think that was kind of known. I think we thought they were going to be there, which, they might drop, but we'll see what happens. And I do want to shout this out. I had no Oregon in the first one.
Yeah, crazy.
That was the one team I said. I was like, I think they're going to drop. I don't think Dylan Gabriel's as good as people are making him sound. He was pretty good, if I'm being honest. And then I had no Penn State in my original one, which was, I didn't really care about. Yeah.
I mean, I could sit here and tell you, I told James that was a terrible take. I could sit here and tell you that Oklahoma State, that I thought they'd suck like they were. I thought they'd be the 2nd worst Power 4 team, which they were.
Wow.
But I said it was a 2-horse race between Oklahoma State and who I said was Utah, who was the 2nd worst team in Big 12.
But 6th, 7th-year seniors.
They had Utah's got hurt, so they would have had a better season if their quarterback didn't get hurt.
Yeah.
They ended up with 2 wins in their conference, and I mean they actually weren't that bad. Just couldn't win conference games, really.
Speaking of that, going to your 4.
My 4 is going to be Boise State. Now, they would play the winner in my scenario of Iowa State and Notre Dame, which would be really cool to see one of those 3 teams get into the semis.
For sure.
They've been very impressive all year, has Boise State. Led by Ashton GT, of course, the star Heisman contender running back. It'll be very interesting to see how they stack up against higher competition. Remember, they only lost by 1 to Oregon early in the season. It wasn't the same Oregon. It was very interesting to see if they can carry that and maybe compete in this 12-team playoff like we thought maybe more than we think they can.
Mm-hmm.
As long as they take care of UNLV, which is what we said should happen, they'll lock up a first-round bye and have a really solid road ahead of them, especially if they get that 4 seed. I think Boise State would rather the 4 seed.
I think they would. I think they want the bye for sure. They don't want to play a game.
Well, no, I'm talking about. I mean, they're gonna get a bye if they win.
Yeah, but
they say between 3 and 4.
They
I think they'd rather
the
4.
4 is better. Yeah,
because 5
in your scenario.
Because the 5 seed would be Notre Dame or Penn State,
exactly.
And then the 12 seed will be Iowa State, Arizona State, Clemson. So that's a much better road rather than having to put all these SEC teams in here and. Yeah.
And I didn't say this about Boise State earlier, but I think Ashton GT can translate to the playoffs. I think he can go compete with Georgia. For an example, I think he can run all over Georgia. It's just going to depend on the rest of the team.
It's not about Ashton GT, it's what they all want.
Exactly.
My 3, I had Miami here as well. My 3 would be playing the winner of Penn State and Alabama, and it would be SMU. Not to win a very tough game versus Clemson, but I think they can do it. There'll be another team where I'll be interested in how they do versus higher competition. We haven't really seen it all year. They've cruised to 11-1. Who did they lose to? They lost to Boise State, right?
Mm-mm. They didn't play Boise State.
Yeah, before I think they did. I'll look it up. But
I think so.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they did.
I don't think they played Boise.
I think they did, James.
Oh, I don't remember that. Maybe they did. I'm bad.
BYU. I'm sorry, BYU. They lost by 3. So they played. BYU's a solid team, but we just really don't know. With SMU, I think they'll compete well. I don't know if they'll really go anywhere. Probably won't after this second round, but they're a very interesting team to watch during the playoffs. Like, if you're focusing on one team, SMU might be the team you focus on.
Yeah, for sure. They're a fun team to watch.
Yeah, for sure. My number 2, I had Georgia here last time, and in my scenario, they'd be playing the winner of Georgia and Indiana. Georgia is Texas. Texas will not lose to Georgia twice. Period. It probably will not happen. That's just my opinion. I think it's a pretty sound opinion. Just to be honest. They've been so consistent. I don't think that'll stop here in this playoff in the SEC championship. I think it'll take a lot for anyone to beat Texas this winter. Like, let's be like, Texas is going to be so consistent. They're not going to have a bad game, pretty much. You're going to have to beat them. They're not going to beat themselves. And so Oregon might be the only team that can do it, other than maybe Georgia. And so seeing Georgia Texas for a third time, that would be pretty awesome.
Yeah, and the Texas A&M game, I was so impressed with how they used Arch Manning in the quarterback runs and stuff, because they weren't using like that him most of the year, especially in the beginning of the year. I don't think they knew how fast he was.
Well, it's also because Quinn Ewers is hurt now, so they have
for sure they have to use him at a certain time. Well, Ewers is playing.
He's playing, but he's can't run.
But he's banged up. So I think it's cool to see him implement that Arch Manning kind of QB run. I think he's gonna be really good next year. I think Texas can build a little dynasty the next 3 years. So especially, and it starts right now.
I mean, with all the money they have, they could build a dynasty for the rest of forever.
True.
And aren't they about to put like a cap on how much you can pay?
That's like, I mean, people were talking about that, but that's not set in stone.
I feel like that could happen. I feel like I heard something like
that was an idea. I did hear about that.
I think that might be happening. Though.
Maybe
we'll see about that.
Yeah, think about it.
I think that might be why Bryce Underwood got so much money. These Thunders are trying to give out all their money now because they won't be able to later.
Yeah, and I want y'all to drop a comment down below and let us know how you feel about that, because I think we are kind of like, this is the new era of college football, right? We kind of just have to deal with it at this point.
I think setting a cap would be really effective.
For sure. I think there's ideas. So let us know if there's any ideas you got to kind of help fix the money problem.
Yeah, we'll let the college football.
Because we don't want it to become the NFL. It's college football.
Yeah, I think putting the cap might be the most sound decision. The Georgia Texas for a third time after they played in the SEC championship. They can't really avoid that. They can't make the decision to avoid it. Like, Georgia's going to be in that mix, right? If they lose.
Whoever loses the game is still in.
They're going to be in that mix where the other team will have the bye. So it could definitely happen to where we see Georgia Texas a third time, especially if Georgia plays Indiana.
Sure.
My number 1 is Oregon. I had Ohio State here last time, just I thought they'd be the only undefeated team. But Oregon would be playing the winner of Ohio State-Tennessee, another rematch that we could see.
Yeah.
So we would be putting Ohio State playing Indiana first round be more effective to only have one rematch instead of 2.
Yeah.
Maybe. But Oregon's the only unbeaten team in college football. I'm pretty sure that's correct. And they should take care of Penn State this week, but watch out. That could be a very close game. Oregon is a well-rounded team with a Heisman contender quarterback. That's a tough formula to beat. Mm-hmm. It's not hard to say right now that Oregon's the favorite to win it all. Like, at this point, they're the only undefeated team. I want to say Texas, but I just can't because Oregon is that team.
They've taken care of business.
By the way, Ohio State Tennessee sounds lit as well.
It does.
All right, well, that'll do it for that, and let's move into
cue the music.
Last week, a bunch of football happened. South Carolina beat Clemson. Texas beat Texas A&M. Miami and Ohio State each got upset. In the NFL, the Bills rout the 49ers to clinch the AFC East. The Eagles beat the Ravens in a close one, and the Steelers explode for 40 points to beat the Bengals. Trevor Lawrence, Christian McCaffrey, and Jordan Mason all heading to the IR. Who's going to be the 49ers running back? I don't know. The first team eliminated from the NFL playoffs is the Giants. Sorry, James. The other team...
not Giants, man. I judge.
Teams in the company of the Giants, with that being eliminated from the playoffs, include the Patriots, the Jaguars, and the Raiders. Good job, Giants. Aroldis Chapman signs with the Red Sox, and Luis Severino signs with the Athletics. Don't really know why. The new college football playoff rankings this week, I think the final ones before the playoff reveal, see Ohio State at 6, Miami at 12, Clemson at 17, Syracuse at 22, and Memphis at 25, which is a big win versus Tulane. NBA Cup first-round matchups, Bucks Magic, Knicks Hawks, Thunder Mavericks, and Rockets Warriors. The Lions captured their 11th straight win on Thursday Night Football yesterday versus the Packers. They also clinched a playoff berth doing that. And James, I want you to tell me which conference championship will be the best and how will it play out?
Ooh, that's a great question. By best...
Which game will be the best?
It's probably going to be Georgia-Texas in the SEC championship game. And I think Georgia's going to win. But I will say this. The most fun one is going to be Arizona State, Iowa State. It's going to be 2 teams vying for a playoff position, which they never thought at the beginning of the year that they would even be in a situation to get a playoff spot. Last year, when there's a 4-team playoff, you never thought you'd have this opportunity as Iowa State or Arizona State. They now get the opportunity. I think Arizona State wins that game, but I would look out for those 2 games. Probably going to be the best 2, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'll kind of agree with you. I think the best football game that's played would be Texas-Georgia, but I think I will most enjoy, and most people will most enjoy watching, that Big 12 championship, Arizona State, Iowa State. So,
I wanted to ask you about something.
Yeah.
The Luis Severino thing. What's going on with that? I saw it on the ticker at the bottom of the screen last night.
I don't know about it.
Why is he going to the Athletics?
I just saw the same thing you did.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah, they probably offered him. I think they offered him a lot of money. Like he got 70-something million.
Gotcha.
So, not a year, just obviously.
Yeah.
Soto, by the way, he's not going to get 700 mil. Don't listen to those people. Shohei Ohtani gets 700 mil, and he's like the best player both ways.
No, I think look at him like 650.
I mean, it depends on how long the contract is. Like 15 years, 650 could be out. It's not out of the question.
Yeah.
But like, if you go below 15, I don't think he gets 6.
Maybe we'll see.
All right, they take and make the decision by the end of the week. So next week, look out for that and research on now. Now let's go to college football awards predictions. We're gonna got 4 awards here: Heisman, the Davey O'Brien, the Biletnikoff, and the Home Depot Award, which is terrible. I don't know why you call it the Home Depot Award. First Heisman trophy. Let's say it on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Travis Hunter.
All right, he's gonna win. He's minus 10,000. Do we really have to talk about it?
Yeah, he's the best player in college football, so he deserves to win the Heisman. GT's been great this year, but Hunter's best player.
We talked about it last week. I don't know if it should be this the odds should be so terrible, or not terrible. It's just so in favor of Travis, but he's gonna win.
Yeah.
Davey O'Brien. Now it's the best quarterback in college football. I'll start it off. Minus Cam Ward. He had 44,123 yards, 36 touchdowns, only 7 interceptions. He led Miami to a 10-2 record with that defense. That's not easy to do. They won't make the playoffs, which again controversial, but with that defense, at the end of the games, it came down to we have Cam Ward and you don't, and our defense might suck, but our quarterback doesn't, and that's why he's the best quarterback in college.
Yeah, for sure. I went a different route. I ended up going with Dylan Gabriel, and I think the reason for that is at the beginning of the year, a lot of people thought he was going to be good. A lot of people thought he would be in the Heisman contention. I didn't, and that's why I wanted to put him here, because I didn't think he was going to be this good. I watched him at Oklahoma. He wasn't this good. He gets a great team around him, and he plays well. That's what a good quarterback does. He's leading them to a 12-0 record. They'll be 13-0. They'll be the only undefeated team in college football.
Don't count out Penn State.
So, Penn State's not.
Penn State plays Oregon. Don't count them out.
Well, they're not. Oh.
Okay.
Sure.
Penn State's good.
For sure. I really think Oregon's going to win. So Dylan Gabriel's my best quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, kind of hypocritical, you know. You're saying Dylan Gabriel's not going to be good.
No, I didn't, but I got proven wrong. So
yeah, I mean, it was. I think that's crazy. You think he was going to be good. I mean, he's.
No, I thought he was going to be good. I just didn't think he was going to be a Heisman contender.
He was really good last year.
12-0.
This dude was really good last year. Got development and got to a better offense. I mean, hello.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about the 4 guys that are going to be going to New York, right? Ward, Gabriel, GT, and Hunter, but Hunter's going to win. Biletnikoff Award, the best wide receiver in college football. I went with Teteroy McMillan here. I think there's a few guys you could have gone with. He had 84 receptions for 1,319 yards and 8 touchdowns. And this is what really separated. Think about this. He was responsible for 44.6% of his quarterback's passing yards. What the hell?
Yeah.
That's absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
And you could say Travis Hunter, which you're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You could say Trey Harris, but he got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
We don't think we saw the epic number putter-upper at receiver this year. But we saw Teteroy McMillan get 45% of his quarterback's passing yards.
So I do want to shout that out because I saw that stat too. And I think McMillan is a great candidate, and it should be him and Hunter right to the very end. I went with Travis Hunter. I think he's the best receiver in college football. I think Trey Harris had a really good shot to win it, obviously, until he got hurt. But going back to the McMillan thing, I just think he is such a freak athlete. He is the best receiver right here, but he didn't have the best year as a receiver. In my opinion.
Yards.
That's my opinion.
And more touchdowns.
That's my opinion, but they also went 4-8. So,
he's a receiver.
Usually teams who win the Biletnikoff are a good team, right? Last year it was Marvin Harrison Jr. Really good team.
Teams
year
don't usually have good receivers. This year.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. So I do think that takes his case away, in my opinion, because you impact the game a lot. They do, right? They
depend on your.
And they were supposed to have a good team at the beginning of the year. They were, and they didn't. So shout out to McMillan. He's going to be probably the first receiver taken off the board. So shout out to him.
It's an
But
individual
Travis
award,
Hunter,
James.
in my opinion, Travis Hunter should win it.
He's not going to.
Okay.
Just because he plays defense is great. He's a better player, but he's not a better receiver.
Maybe.
That's why I don't think Travis Hunter will be that good in the NFL. I don't think he's.
You keep saying
I don't think he's a good enough receiver. I don't think he's a good enough DB. I don't think he'll hang.
So if he's the Heisman, the second best DB in the country, and the second best receiver.
Second best DB in the country.
Who's second best?
Caleb Downs is better.
You think
Malachi Starks is better.
Oh, Malachi
Will
Starks
Johnson is better.
Will Johnson's the number one in my opinion. Then it's Travis Hunter. It is.
He's good at both.
This year it is. So if he wins the Heisman Trophy, he's the second best DB in college football, or let's say the third best DB in college football, the second best receiver in college football. You don't think that pans out in the NFL?
I don't think. He can prove me wrong. I don't think. I don't think he'll pan out. I just don't think.
He's also the number one recruit coming out of high school. I want you to remember that.
I don't care.
Okay.
I don't think he's gonna pan out.
Okay.
Coach of the Year, Home Depot Award. I'll start with Kurt Cignetti. He led Indiana to an 11-1 record in his first season. Think about that. He brought a great culture and a great mindset to a really struggling Indiana football program that hasn't really found its feet until this year. He has laid a beautiful groundwork for the future of Indiana football, and I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, so I thought the exact same way, but I just thought a little differently, and I went to Arizona State's coach. I went to Kenny Dillingham. He was 3-9 last year in his second year, but he said 2 years ago when he took the job, we are going to get this team back on the road again, and he has. 2 years later, they're 10-2 with a chance to make the 12-team playoff. That is impressive to me. When you see improvement throughout years, I know Kurt Cignetti had an amazing year. I think Arizona State, Indiana would be a great game. Two great coaches. I think they're the two best coaches for this award in college football. But I gave the edge to Kenny Dillingham.
Yeah, I think they're really similar.
Yeah, they both have similar mindsets. I do like the.
It's similar. We'll see.
Yeah.
I think that's similar. They both brought their programs kind of up.
Exactly.
Is it Dillingham's first year?
No.
Well, that's why I think Cincinnati will win.
Mm-hmm.
All right, NFL picks now. It's pretty much over. I think there's 5 weeks left.
Pretty much.
You
never know. If I pick some upsets here and there, and it pans out. But
is there 5 weeks left? I think that's right.
It's week 14.
So 14, 15, 16, 17, 18.
There's 18 weeks.
18.
Right.
So 5.
Yeah.
So now it's 125 to 111. I'm up 4. You have to make up 14 and 5 each games.
Yeah, I need some upsets. So
all right.
I picked a couple this week. So.
We have a guest picker, so let's get him on right now.
You think he's ready?
He told me he's ready. That's why I was texting him just now.
You think he's locked?
I think he said locked. Hey, Will.
Hello?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, alright. We're gonna make some NFL picks first, then do our dog of the week. You need 10 out of 12 to take the lead over Luke Duval, who has the lead as of right now. So we'll start. Saints, Giants. James, you start us off, then I'll do it, then Will.
Okay, so shout out to the Saints for, with their new culture, program, whatever.
Rizzy.
Giants are going to win this game. Malik Neighbors said last week that he was a little frustrated, right? He was a little frustrated the week before. He said he was frustrated. I think they finally work him in the offense more and more. I think Drew Lock looked a lot better than both the quarterbacks they've had, so I got the Giants upsetting the Saints.
It's going to be a really bad game.
Yep.
Period. I don't want to watch it. I'm not going to. But I think the
bad.
better team's going to win in the Saints. I don't really have anything to say about it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take the Saints. I think Tommy DeVito, he's not gonna lead the Giants to victory, so I'll be taking the Saints.
Okay.
Wait, who's the quarterback for the Giants?
Tommy DeVito.
Okay. Gotcha.
Isn't it Drew Lock? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's definitely Drew Lock. All right.
It's Drew Lock.
Browns, Steelers.
It's Pittsburgh. They're the better team. They're the better defense. They're the better offense. And they're better special teams. It's in Pittsburgh. This will be a curb stomp.
After last week, Pittsburgh's looking very, very dangerous. Do I think Lagoni really places in the playoffs? No. They're looking very, very dangerous. I think it'll be a blowout Pittsburgh win.
Yeah, I'll take both of you. I'm taking the Steelers as well.
Okay.
All right, Vikings, Falcons.
So this was a game where I had to pick an upset, and I went with Atlanta. They're playing horrible football right now. I saw a stat the other day. It was Kirk Cousins has thrown 4 interceptions in the last 3 games, and he's thrown 0 touchdowns. That's really bad. He's going up against his old team, going back to Minnesota. I think Atlanta takes this one away from Minnesota, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, Atlanta just isn't very good. You just said it yourself. Yeah. So do you really believe the pick?
I think it could happen, for sure.
Okay, well, he's just trying to come back, guys.
Minnesota, I think it could happen.
Minnesota definitely is very good, and they're definitely are going to win this game and move to 11-2 in the year. Who would have thought? I thought they'd be better than people thought, but, this is crazy.
Yeah.
I will be taking Minnesota.
Smart.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Sam Darnold is him. Bucks and Raiders.
I won't watch the game. It'll be a gross game, and the Bucks will win close.
I think it'll be. I think Las Vegas is a joke. We said it every week. They're not good. I think Tampa Bay, it takes us one big by a couple scores and takes the division lead in the NFC South. And yeah, I think they'll win the division.
Give me an upset. Give me Las Vegas.
All right. Got to pick upsets if you want to get 10 out as well, right?
Yep.
All right. Eagles, Panthers.
Really, really wanted to pick Carolina in this game, but Philly's been the second best team in football right now. So I think Carolina will keep it very close right to the end. I think it's a big Saquon run at the end, and I'm going to take Philly with the edge.
Yeah, you got to pick upsets, but you can't shoot yourself in the foot.
Yeah, I know.
Because Philly looks unbeatable. There's two teams that look so unbeatable right now. Maybe three if you want to count the Bills, but it's the Lions and it's the Eagles. Maybe because the NFC's bad. Maybe because I think it's because they're great.
Yeah.
But I think Carolina hangs here, but loses by 2 scores in the end. Give me Philly.
I'm gonna have to agree with both of y'all once again. Give me Philly.
Okay. Good stuff. Titans, Jaguars. Called the Super Bowl.
Ooh, the AFC South rivalry. I'm going to take the better team here. Well, actually, they're both really bad. I think the Jags are vying for that number 1 overall pick. I'm going to take Tennessee here at home.
Wait, I'm looking at this.
The Jags are 2-10, if that helps you.
Yeah, I'm trying to see what Tennessee's. I don't think they're eliminated
they're
yet.
4 and something.
4? That's more than I thought it'd be.
They have 4 wins.
3-9. 3-9.
3-9.
So if you're 3-9 or better, you're not out technically yet.
Yeah,
but
they're
you're out. Like the Jets and the Browns and the Titans and all them. So anyway, I got the Titans. You picked the Jaguars, right?
No, pick Tennessee.
You picked Tennessee. Oh, good, because I do not know who's going to win this game. I think this is finally an easy game for the Jaguars. Took them 12 games and being out of the playoffs, but they also have no quarterback. So yeah, tough to pick them.
Yeah, I'll pick in Tennessee because of T-Law's injury. So I think Tennessee won.
Okay, good insight.
Yeah, all right. Jets, Dolphins. Will, I want you to start us off here.
I'll be taking Miami. I believe they kind of had a slow season, but they'll get the win over the Jets.
Yeah, James.
Yeah, this is a must-needed win for Miami to keep some of playoff hopes alive. This Jets team is broken, in my opinion, right now. Everyone is doubting them. I'm going to take Miami to win this game. I think it's very close, but I do think the Dolphins I just think they outplay the Jets. And I think...
Oh, you picked the Dolphins.
I did.
Okay, good.
Yeah, and even though the Jets are trying to come back, they're eliminated from playoff contention pretty much. I'm going to take Miami with a big win here in Miami.
Yeah, I got the Jets here. I think they've come on recently. They played a little bit better. Hasn't really necessarily translated to wins, but they've been playing better. It's a close one, but I think the Jets pull it out. Seattle, Arizona, James.
Oof, I'm going to go with Arizona. I do think it's very close, though. I just think Arizona's the better team. I don't think Seattle's going to be able to stop Kyler Murray. I think he has a bounce-back game finally. I'm going to take the Cards here by 2 scores.
Combined, we may have picked the Seahawks 5 times.
Yeah, it's kind of shout out to the Seahawks. They're not having that bad of a season.
Aren't they in division lead right now?
I think it's Arizona. I think they took it back.
Yeah, they're up by.
Yeah, I mean they're 7-5. That division's been really bad this year, but I do think the Cardinals smack a big
Seattle's they've had a good season. They've just gone under the radar, won close games. I'm still going to Arizona because I can't stop picking them. This is a huge game in the division, by the way.
Yep.
1 game apart. I think Arizona wins on the last second field goal. Just feels like all of Seattle's games have been.
Yeah.
Well,
I will be taking the Arizona Cardinals. I think it will be a very close game, but they'll pull through at the end.
Okay.
yeah, just what I said, pretty much. You're a great picker, Will. Buffalo and Rams.
So I actually picked Rams originally. I think I just wrote it down wrong because the Bills are going to win this game easily. I want to shout out Josh Allen. He's an MVP right now. He is the MVP in my opinion. The Bills will win this game pretty easily. Rams defense has not looked good this year. I think it's close to the beginning, but I think the Bills pull away pretty late.
The Bills just look like they can't be stopped right now. I think the Rams are just the next victim of my king. But I do want to mention Joe Burrow would be the MVP of his team. If his defense
had a winning record.
If his defense had a pulse, that he'd be the MVP because he's probably been the best quarterback all year.
He's been the best quarterback, yeah.
Yeah, he's been really good. Will.
I'll be taking the Rams. I think Kyron Williams will lead this Rams team to a victory.
Okay.
Interesting. All right, 49ers, Bears.
Whew, I think it's close, but I went with Chicago. I need an upset. The Niners looked real bad last week, and now Jordan Mason and Christian McCaffrey are both on IR. They're going to turn to Isaac Guerrero, who's actually been really good in his snaps. But I think Chicago runs the ball really well in this game, and I think that's what wins it for them.
Chicago is falling apart, man. They cannot win a game.
Yep.
I think my dad could run behind the San Francisco O-line.
Yeah, probably. Well, Trent Williams. Sad story, by the way.
What happened?
With Trent Williams, his baby passed away.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, he hasn't been playing, so he probably won't be back the rest of the year.
Interior line's still great.
Yeah, true.
And San Francisco's going to get a much-needed win here. I got the 49ers.
I have the Bears winning. I think Caleb Williams will have a great game, and just based on Jordan Mason and McCaffrey going down, I'll take the Bears.
All right.
Nice.
I love winning. All right. Chiefs and Chargers.
Ooh, close game. Sunday Night Football. In Arrowhead, Chargers are going to run the ball without J.K. Dobbins. I have the Chargers winning this game. Very close. Pacheco's going to be back in a bigger role, they said this week. I don't think he plays great. I got the Chargers taking the edge in this division rivalry.
Yeah, this is the game of the week. I think it'll be very close, but also just he's going to keep shooting himself in the foot. I'll keep letting him.
Yeah.
Because the Kansas City Chiefs are, 11-1 right now? 12-1. And I think the rest will give it to him at the end. The guys in black and white decide every game, right? And they decide it for the Chiefs every game. Give me the Chiefs and give me the win in NFL picks.
Give me the Chiefs in Arrowhead, and I believe Patrick Mahomes won't make any mistakes, so he and the Chiefs will win.
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes never makes any mistakes. Also, in Arrowhead, you really think those little sweethearts from Los Angeles can go into Arrowhead and win?
Yo, whoa, that was crazy. Whoa. That's clipped. You just got your clipped now.
These little sweethearts from
Yeah, it's going out this week at some point.
No, it's not. I'll make sure of that. Bengals and Cowboys.
This will be the Bengals. They'll finally win a game, but sadly it's going to be close. I think Dallas scores over 30 points, which is hard to win a game doing that. I think Cincinnati, just their offense is incredible right now. I think T. Higgins has a monster game. I got Cincy pulling it up.
Cooper Rush stinks, but so does the Cincinnati defense. So they kind of offset each other. I think it's a high scoring, again, close win for Cincinnati.
I think Cincinnati will win with C.D. Lamb questionable. I think Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase will have a great connection, and they'll pull through.
Yeah, all right, that'll do it for NFL picks. That's the Simpsons game, by the way. Cincinnati.
Ooh, Simpsons game.
I don't
is that on
know
Disney Plus?
I don't even know.
I think it's on Disney Plus.
That's on ESPN for sure.
Oh.
It might be on Disney
No,
Plus.
I think you
too,
can watch it on ESPN and you don't have to watch The Simpsons. It's just an option, I think.
Maybe. I don't know. All right, well, James, you get 5 differences this week. If you want to come back, you got to win pretty much all of them.
All of them.
Because if you win one of them, then you're still down 11. So you pretty much have to win all of them.
Go Giants, go Atlanta, go Miami, go Chicago, and go LA Chargers.
Yeah. Okay. They don't have a dome this week.
That's a good point.
Little dome.
Cold game in Arrowhead.
All right. Dog of the week.
Dog of the week.
I'll start. My dog of the week is the Syracuse quarterback who's been balling all year. Don't know how we haven't picked him. Kyle McCord. He went 26 for 36, 380 yards, 3 touchdowns. That's a 90.9 quarterback rating. He outplayed a top 2 quarterback in college football in Cam Ward. And he led Syracuse to a 42-38 win over Miami, knocking Miami out of the playoffs, cementing a ranked Syracuse team into the ranks. I don't know. Cementing them into the rankings.
25.
And, he's a dog. And I don't know how they haven't picked him. Wait until the last week. Kyle McCord.
And shout out to him leaving Ohio State. Not a lot of fans behind him. Not a lot of Ohio State people liked him. And he goes to Syracuse, and he's had an incredible season. He led him to, a 9-3 record? That's pretty impressive. So shout out to him. After all the stuff that he's going through, very impressive.
I did not know he went to Ohio State. Did he go somewhere between Ohio State and Syracuse?
Well, he was somewhere before Ohio State. No.
Okay. All right, you go.
Me? Okay.
Yeah.
So I went with another coach this week. Couldn't really see any dogs. I looked through a couple. I went with Sharon Moore, the new head coach for the Michigan Wolverines. He was an interim at the end of last year when Harbaugh got suspended and stuff like that, and he's now the new head coach. And this is now 4 straight years that Michigan has beat Ohio State, and he's continued it, right? I mean, in a season where he has not had a good year at all, his team has not been as good as a lot of people thought they would be. He won the game, so it's a successful season. Shout out to Sharon Moore and the Michigan Wolverines.
Yeah. They need to stop hiring these interims, man. It just doesn't work. Like, just because they won a couple games after the coach gets fired doesn't mean they're a good coach.
Yeah,
by
true.
the way. All right,
Will, shout out to him.
Will, who's your dog?
My dog of the week is Aaron Anderson on 3 returns, 153 yards, and with the long 100-yard touchdown. It was amazing, and I think it was at the point of the game
And Nuss was hurt.
Yep, and at the time he was hurt. But I feel like it turned around the game for LSU, and it really set the momentum and gave them momentum for the rest of the game.
Yeah, I can totally agree with that. I think that was the main thing that really got LSU back in that game.
Yeah,
especially
Nuss
AJ
was
Smith.
coming back on that drive, but he got more time to like keep
Exactly.
going, right? And so, yeah, that was a huge play by Aaron Anderson. Special teams player of the week in the SEC. He was great. All right. Oh, first, who was the last player to return kickoff
Ooh.
in Tiger Stadium
Ooh,
before Aaron Anderson?
in Tiger Stadium.
I think was it in Tiger Stadium?
Can you tell me if it's an LSU player or not?
Yeah, it was LSU.
Okay,
It has to be
okay.
LSU.
So the last LSU player to return one.
Yeah, I think it was in Tiger Stadium. Was the
I'm gonna go Beckham
wrong?
or can you tell me if it's the last like 20 years or is it like a
Yes, it's the
very-
last 20 years.
Okay, okay.
Quickly, yeah, we have to finish this.
Fournette.
No,
he didn't return kicks.
Will, I'm not going to tell you. Thank you for coming, and have a good one, man.
No problem. Thank you for inviting me.
Yes, sir. It was Trey Palmer.
Oh,
and
that's a cool pull.
yeah, and also another trivia question I learned today.
I'm locked now.
How many teams have made the college football playoff? Period.
What?
How many teams in the history of college football playoff have made it?
Well, no. Oh.
And then so since the college football playoff era started.
Four.
Different teams. How many different teams? Yeah. 4 times 10.
52.
15.
That's crazy.
Yeah, okay.
Weird, that's weird.
That's
to think
like
about. I don't know.
12
That's
years.
just a number.
It's like 12 years,
That's
15 teams is crazy.
Freaking crazy, dude.
All right, well, NIL now. We never know.
It
It's 12 team
might
playoff.
be worse.
So there are going to be almost as many teams this year in the playoff as there was in the last like 12
That
years.
is crazy.
Anyway, we'll leave you on that. Thank you for listening. This is the best 2 months of content you're going to get from us in the whole year. Please stay lost. Please keep coming back. And thank you for letting us continue to grow. Yeah.
We're locked in.
And like, subscribe, comment, go check us out on all the platforms, and we'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.